Welcome to Aircraft Insurance Unlocked, and today I'm going to talk about how to get the best aircraft insurance rate both for a new aircraft you just purchased and also when your policy comes up for renewal. Now, I know there is a lot of chatter and false information online, so I'm looking forward to clearing a lot of this up, and if you stay until the end, I have one major red flag situation that I've seen that could cost you thousands of dollars extra in insurance. For those of you that don't know me, I'm Matt White. I'm the CEO of BWI. We help over 9,000 aircraft owners get insurance, and it's our mission to build the best aviation insurance agency on planet Earth. So let's jump right in. Insuring airplanes and remaining profitable is really hard to do. Over my career, I've seen many aviation insurance companies go out of business. There are over 4,000 different aircraft makes and models globally, combined with all different types of qualified pilots flying them, combined with different uses like personal versus commercial use. On top of this, there are really only about 22 insurance companies that will insure aircraft, and within those companies, they all specialize in different unique aircraft makes and models, types of pilots, and within that, many companies have closer relationships with some insurance agents on certain risks. So now you wonder, why is there so much chatter online about getting different rates from different brokers and different companies? But even with all these factors, there are certain things that you can do to make sure you set yourself up to get the very best rates possible. These are things that everyone can do that I have seen over thousands of aircraft insurance policies work time and time again. So let's start with when buying a new aircraft, and later I will go over tips on how to get the best rate when your insurance policy comes up for renewal. So pro tip number one, before you buy the aircraft, if you can get time in that make and model aircraft or a similar type of aircraft, building as many hours as you can will help reduce the rate versus if you have 0 hours in the aircraft. Many agents will ask how much make and model time you have in that aircraft, but they might forget to ask if you have time in similar types of aircraft, which is great additional information they can send to the underwriters to help tell your full story. Also, if you're a student, getting your private license will help, and if you have your private license, of course, getting an IFR rating may also help depending on the aircraft make and model that you're buying. Pro tip number two, definitely find an insurance agent who specializes in writing aircraft insurance. You don't want a do-it-all insurance broker. You want a specialist that works with aircraft and pilots all day long. Going further on this, within the aviation community, aviation insurance community, some brokers specialize on certain aircraft makes and models like Piper Comanches. Some brokers specialize in Cirrus aircraft and tailwheel aircraft, and even aircraft based in Alaska. That's how unique the aviation insurance industry is. I would recommend Googling your specific aircraft make and model and insurance and see what brokers are recommended online by other pilots and reaching out to those brokers to get a quote. Pro tip number three, don't shop for aircraft insurance like you do for car insurance. It's a completely different industry and it doesn't work the same. It can actually hurt your chances of getting the best quote if you get multiple brokers involved. Find a specialist broker that you trust, that you love, and make sure they shop the entire market and they advocate for you with the underwriters to get the best rate and terms. Pro tip number four, if you're transitioning into a new aircraft, have a training plan written out before you request an insurance quote and tell your agent what your training plan is. When they send your information to the underwriters, they can show that you've already thought through the training. And for example, maybe you have a certain school picked out that you're going to attend. It makes it so much more likely that the underwriters are going to offer a quote. Pro tip number five, this one is powerful. If you are currently training to get your PPL on another aircraft or you're training to build more hours, you don't want your broker shopping the market 2 to 3 months before you purchase the aircraft. You want to give yourself as much time in building those extra hours, more total time, etc. And then closer to the purchase date of the aircraft, Then have your broker shop the market with your info. Give yourself every advantage to get the best rate. You can request a tire kicker rate from a broker that doesn't involve them sending your information out to the market. So those are my top 5 tips for getting the best rate when buying a new aircraft and getting an incredible policy and package. After you start a policy, about 3 months before your policy expires, your agent will want to start working on renewal quotes. So here are my top tips to get the very best renewal rate. Tip number 1, it's all about timing it right and giving your broker as much information as possible. And this all depends on how much you're flying and plan to fly before renewal. If you're flying 10 to 15 hours a year, you can give your broker all your updated info 3 months before renewal, let them shop the market, lock in a great rate, no problem, easy. But if you're flying a lot more and you're building hours fast, especially in your make and model aircraft, you're going to want to wait until like 2 to 3 weeks before your renewal to give your broker all your updated information. The more make and model hours that you have in your specific aircraft, the better chance you have to get a lower rate. Tip number 2, make sure to include all the extra details about your flying experience over the last 12 months when you meet with your broker. Things like extra pilot training that you've done. Maybe you got an AOPA or EAA membership recently. Did you fly in an aircraft similar to your aircraft's make and model, or maybe a more advanced aircraft? Was your aircraft in maintenance for a certain period of time last year, etc.? All those little details can be shared with the underwriter to help paint a picture of your flying experience and your overall risk to the insurance company. A lot of aircraft owners don't share this extra information, and it usually always helps with getting the best rate. Tip number 3, shopping the market. You want to make sure that your broker is shopping all the right aviation insurance companies and presenting all those results to you. Some aircraft makes and models might only have 1 or 2 insurance companies that will even offer a quote. Other companies may have 10 insurance companies all offering a quote. It all depends on your unique aircraft make and model, but the key point is to ask your broker for a market report and have them explain why they shopped or why they didn't shop certain insurance markets. If they can't explain this clearly, it might be time to reach out to another broker. Tip number 4, you need to review named pilots on the policy every year. Aircraft insurance is usually based on the lowest qualified pilot on the policy. So, for example, if you added a friend as a named pilot last year and he's not going to fly this year, you can remove him as a named pilot. You want to get those people off the policy if they're not flying. Keeping extra pilots on the policy, especially if they're less qualified in the aircraft than you, can unnecessarily increase the rate. And tip number 5, this is my red flag tip. If you've had an accident or a claim during the policy period and your insurance renewal rate goes up more than 50% year over year, or if you're quoted with a different insurance company after having a claim, this can be a serious red flag. I see this all the time. Your premium will likely go up after a claim, usually between 20 and 30%, and your current carrier will likely offer a renewal quote. Doesn't happen all the time, but it's likely. If your rate goes up more than 50 or 100% and it's a new insurance company, this is a red flag. I would ask your broker every question in the world, like, did my current insurance company offer terms? Why did the rate go up so much? If you get a renewal quote like 2 days before your policy expires, I would also challenge this and maybe reach out to another broker for advice. Aircraft insurance policies with claims will most likely be quoted more than a few days before your policy expires. So those are my top tips for getting the best rate, whether you're buying a new aircraft or your policy is coming up for renewal. I want to thank all of you for trusting me and the team at BWI, and fly safe.